Alright, napakarami pong tumatawag. So, pakiusap dun sa mga nakakatawag, please try to give your question right away para po mas marami pa tayong ma-entertain na calls. Once again, Attorney Karina Castañeda and Attorney Allison Aquino both here to take your phone calls. Criminal defense law ang specialty po, ang practice ni Karina, and immigration, of course, for Allison. For those of you naman that are undergoing removal proceedings, kailangan nyo po ng pareho, criminal defense lawyer and immigration lawyer. But Allison, earlier, we had a hanging question about how you can preserve the status or yung pagkaka-file ng visa ng ating tumawag kanina. So can you explain to us?
There are some limited situations where even though a child has already turned over 21, they can still be considered under 21. Oh. And it's under a law called Child Status Protection Act. Okay. And under the CSPA, it's a rather complicated mathematical calculation that needs to be made. And unfortunately, as to whether a person is going to be covered under the CSPA and still be eligible, that determination can only be made once the priority date is current, essentially once they get to their place on the waiting list.
Right.
So an attorney would only be able to advise an individual perhaps years after the child is 21, whether they could still be covered or not.
Okay, but he said that the priority date was already current, so you can essentially help him. But we are going to give you Attorney Allison Aquino's number later sa ating programa, so make sure you wait for that. Gigi is our next caller. Hi, Gigi. Are you there? Yes, go ahead.
I'm not Gigi, but I have a question here.
I'm so sorry. Are you calling from Whittier?
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much.
Magandang hapon, Janelle, and Attorney Castañeda and Attorney Aquino. Yes. Okay, my question is, since...
Okay, sir?
Yes?
You have to listen on the phone. Don't listen on your TV, because there's a delay. We're ready for you. You're on the air, so go ahead with your question.
Okay, let me tell you this. I'm putting together my application for naturalization, and but there's a question here that pertains to citation. Like in my case, I was cited. I have a history of traffic citation, but that was like 10 years ago or so. Or to be more exact, around 2001, do I still need to indicate that on the application?
Nako, good question. I'm sure so many people are asking, parking citation, traffic violation, and all that. Do you need to?
It's wise. It's certainly wise to disclose that information just so it looks like you are being forthright with your application and not trying to hide anything.
What if you forget?
If you forget, then it's an oversight and you point that out to the immigration officer. But if you do remember, then go ahead and put that information on.
Okay.
With respect to traffic violations, in all likelihood, it's not going to prevent an individual from becoming a U.S. citizen. Unless it involves a DUI or reckless driving or vehicular manslaughter, for example. So unless it's a more serious traffic violation, it probably won't harm you.
All right. Now we have time for Gigi. Hi, Gigi.
Hello, Janelle. Hello, mga attorney. Ang tanong ko po kung green card holder po ako, gaano po kaingat ako para dito po sa pagtira ko sa Amerika para hindi po ma-jeopardize yung pag-file ko ng green card or yung may green card na po ako pero pag-file ng naturalization citizenship. Kailangan ko bang matakot? Ano pong kailangan kong gawin?
Go ahead, Karina.
You know, Gigi, this is what's going on with a lot of mga naturalized citizens or non-citizens. You do have to be very careful because you are deportable if you commit any sort of crime that is a crime against moral turpitude, aggravated felony. You never know.
What are the examples? Sa mga clients mo, ano yung mga usually problema nila?
Let me give you an example. For example, God help us all, but for example, you're driving down the street, Gigi, you don't see somebody, you hit this motorcyclist, you know, and this person dies. Guess what? You're going to be charged with vehicular manslaughter.
Even domestic violence, diba? Kasama?
Yes, that is now a crime against moral turpitude. So, and that's, you can be in jail for, 1 year if it's a misdemeanor, and in state prison for it's a felony.
And then when it's like that, when you come out, you are eligible for removal proceedings?
Yes. You're placed on removal proceedings.
Oh, you're placed.
You're transferred from state prison to an INS detention anywhere in the United States. That's what happened. You don't even, get out
You
in
don't
the
get
street.
out. Right. Oh, diretso.
Yeah, diretso.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's scary. Next caller is an anonymous call from Reseda. Hello?
Yes.
Magandang hapon po.
Yeah, good afternoon. Mayroon sana akong tanong tungkol kay Miss Aquino. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Tungkol ito sa kaibigan ko, siya, na-deport siya, voluntary deportation. Nag-bandage siya ng 1,500. Tapos yung anak niya is a US-born citizen dito. Sabi, 10 years daw it takes to ma-petition yung mother niya. Totoo ba yun?
Yes, when an individual is deported, actually, literally, physically deported from the United States, they are subject to a 10-year bar from re-entering the United States.
Okay.
If, however, they have a U.S. citizen daughter, then there are waivers that are applicable, and they can certainly file for a waiver back in the Philippines in order to try and come back before that 10-year time period.
Oh, okay. So pwede sila makabalik dito, but they bring their daughter or their kid with them when they're deported to the Philippines. Correct?
Well, I guess I might have misunderstood, but I thought that the U.S. citizen was already perhaps an older child.
Oh, what if it's a younger child? Well, you know what? Let's pause for a few reminders. We'll get to that when we return. Don't go away. Yeah.
Ang Kababayan LA ay hatid sa inyo ng McDonald's at ng bagong McCafe Espresso Drinks. McDonald's na ba ang inyong bagong coffee house?